The gray hand that covered half my face. My prayer exercised it. I would stay dumbfounded, forget about you, and firmly close my eyes. I thought the slope to our school was a great exercise. So why were others climbing, as if they carried 30-kilogram mountaineering backpacks? Annoying. They walked on the left, and the left side of my face drooped. My left limbs went numb like I had a heart stroke. On my right, a girl's lungs inflated, deflated. Her bare foot sizzled on the burning red stone. Her arms spread like an incarnated child, hands knelt on the hefty saint cross that she carried up the gallows. My name is Desdemona, a 180-centimeter tall woman with such body physics. May God grant me a blade that slashes her past, because the grey hand stripped her, skinned her. A metal box floated on the school gate, waving at Lychee, the girl carrying the cross. Her expression enlightened. Her steps quickened. The metal box turned into a puppy wagging its tail, panting in thirst to see Lychee. Adorable. I wished to grab its head and steal it, but when it saw me, it morphed into a flustered little white duck with a stout and feathery abdomen, paddling away from me. The boy didn't even know I'm Lychee's roommate. So, what do you think, Lychee? Hiking this weekend? I asked. A hike in the wilderness allowed the sorrow to be replaced by fluffy clouds, the business of the urban city to be replaced by loitering butterflies. Nature would grant me its knowledge. I would grant the world my optimism. After all, no matter how the city or fate defeat us, life must go on, right, Lychee? I widened my eyes. Half of her face was covered by a smiley mask. The other half was burned into red, swollen, dry, and cracked skin. The flame relentlessly crawled onto her right arm, peeling her skin, her muscle. Yes, I'll go with you. Behind Lychee's mask and flaring leathery skin, her expression was unreadable. I couldn't understand. Why would she trap herself in her past? Last week, when her supple hands touched the hot skillet in the sink, I abhorred myself for forgetting to alert her. Because she wept, she cried, she wailed. The fire that buried her parents has burned for 13 years, engulfing her. She was impossible to touch. A click of a lighter switch sounded. She flinched like a rose meeting winter. Her friends mindlessly strode to the next classroom. She tied the hefty saint cross around her neck, dragging it and falling behind her friends. Yes, she tied it herself. Why couldn't she just tell them that she disliked fire? She's a good listener. Whatever I say, she's always there for me. She never complains. I inquired and was sickened. Because Lychee was a good listener, her friends jabbed their own arrows through her. The bitch named Edurica cheated on her boyfriend, yet she whined on Lychee's shoulder like a victim. I was baffled, annoyed. I spoke for Lychee, I fought for Lychee, I let her be herself without her mask. I tried to axe down the gate of the flaming building to rescue her, yet she has never shown me that enlightened expression of hers when she sees that shy boy. The boy wiggled his tail, paused eagerly tapping on the school's cafe floor. The Stoggle was indeed the cutest, but was that really why Lychee took off her mask for him? Suddenly, its ears perked up, tilting its head at the burn mark on Lychee's hand. Ah, this? I accidentally touched the hot skillet. Stupid of me, huh? Lychee put on her mask again, half of it. That burn mark emitted fire to the other half of her face. Right. When she laughs and pretends, acting like a silly sweetie, outsiders' normal reaction would be laughing with her, before perfunctorily killing words. That was when the dog's eyes lit up, its jaws widened, revealing a ginormous water cannon that shot a beam of water, dampening the fire that enveloped half of Lychee. As the cannon shut, Lychee's mask was washed away too. I gaped. The boy gave Lychee's wound a peck, and Lychee blushed like a ducky's red beak. It was so easy. God has permitted us the ability to love. No wonder Lychee could be enlightened. Regardless, both of them were trapped in their respective past. The boy never speaks unless we ask him for help. I was sure that his mutism wasn't inborn. The past were grey hands that drag us behind. Thus, I blurred the memory of that man who wielded a grey hand and continued finishing my homework. After realizing my brain couldn't function, I began cleaning the house, wiping the fridge, and mopping the floor. When we stayed active in walking a straight line, no hands from the past could pull us back. It was the weekend. I woke up at 2 p.m. A stretch on the bed, ice cubes in the coffee mugs, in my underwear and a tank top. I lit a cigarette. Lychee jolted. I didn't notice her on the balcony. No, please, go ahead. You can share your opinions with me, you know. I put out the cigarette anyway. And Erica is a disgusting cheating thought. I know she makes you uncomfortable, so why do you hang out with her? It's just... A scrap of flame shed away from her cheek. I don't want to lose my friends. Get ready. The mountain was hidden. No stairs, just natural slopes. Lychee listlessly hiked, but I wanted her to know that even if we climbed an ice cliff, I would drill in an ice screw, tie a cloth hitch, and set up the rope for her to ascend, even when her personal grey hands weighs her down. Belay, okay. When we finally reached the top, her hand reached into my palm. A stream of white silk couldn't hide itself under the tree crowns. The wind angels gently blew on my lighter, suggesting that I smoke less. Blue, yellow, orange, red, and purple clouds. Such a gradient of colors was our designated rainbow. Lychee reverted in astonishment. The clouds attracted the flame on her to themselves, flaming the sky, flaming the grey hands into ashes. This was the scenery that replaced the past that once haunted me. May I know what happened to you? Lychee questioned. I moved it out of my memory. What I'm saying is, life goes on no matter what happened. If Lychee wanted to embrace the love she had lost in the fire, she still had us. Of course, my love for her was friendly, unlike that shy boy. I bet that was why she was enlightened when she met the boy, but she should know that love comes in many forms. Don't lose yourself, okay? If you dislike Erica, you don't need to hang around her or Guyana. You have me, Andrew. God is by your side, too. Thank you, Desdemona. How are you and Andrew, by the way? Any progress? There's nothing romantic between us. And finally, her face enlightened before me as she smiled at the sunset. Her face was bruised before me as she stood against the sunset. I goggled in disbelief. It happened one day in school, and her eyes were as dead as the deep sea. Was it Erica? Why? What have I mistaken? Where is that bitch? I'll go. A grey hand covered my mouth, nose, and right eye. The suffocation, the loss of half my sight, flipped me around just for me to see that no one was behind me. I'm fine, Desdemona. Please don't worry about me. Lychee's tone was timid and soft, but her eyelids were burned into nothingness. Her eyeballs unapologetically gawked at me, but when she put on her smiling mask, the flame that consumed her disappeared. I'm sorry that I didn't tell you this, but the fire that killed my parents has nothing to do with why I desperately seek friends. I stomped around the school, grubbing out Erica's whereabouts. However, the school was about to shut. Students left one by one after grabbing their last coffee at the cafe. That was where I found the shy boy, Andrew. He jumped in surprise, swiftly transformed into the ducky, and wiggled away. But I caught it and lifted it, nibbled my finger with its harmless little beak. Of course, this 30-centimeter tall ducky would be terrified by someone who's 180. Do you know what happened to Lychee? I queried, seeing its pupils eyeing down to the left. I was convinced it knew. And you didn't do anything? It raised a whiteboard with its tiny wings that said, I think she wants some quiet time. Are you kidding? She needs our help. You stay muted. I slapped away its board. Say something. You can't say like this forever. No matter what happened to you in the past, life goes on, and if you... A giant metal hand forcibly covered my mouth. The pressure pinned me to the wall, gagging my throat. I daringly opened my eyes, seeing one ginormous eye in the center of a mouthless monster. It was burly, taller than me, glaring down at me. A grip from it could break my jaw. But then it shrank back into the little duck, jumping and flapping its wings, perspiring and apologizing. What the hell, Andrew? You... Clink. The ducky turned into a muted metal box. What turned him like this? No matter what it was, he could move on, right? Right? I knew nothing about his past. God, I murmured, but the grey hand pulled my face back. I saw a man with paralyzed left limbs and the frame of his head, but in the center, it was hollow. Who are you? Gods don't exist, the faceless man said as he approached his grey hands to my face. Gods don't exist, like me. I walked down the school slope with the grey hand covering my mouth, nose, and right eye, as the left side of my body was paralyzed. With only half my visibility, I tripped and scraped my knees on the coarse stone road. I'm sorry, Lychee. Are you okay? While the students, parents, and the school security staff spectated, a boy knelt with his back against me, telling me to hop on. Did you just speak? I've never seen the shy boy's human form. Let's get you to the clinic. At the end of the day, I don't know what the hell is wrong with me, but I wouldn't try to forget you again, my loving brother.